Hi, my name is Bryce Keller. I'm a criminal defense attorney and marijuana reform activist. I have a website, marijuanadefensecouncil.com, and on this website you can donate to our mission. I'd like to tell you about our mission and what it is that I'm trying to do with marijuanadefensecouncil.com. Marijuana prohibition is an epic failure. We now know that marijuana has significant medical benefits, and many of those benefits are under-researched and under-investigated. What we do have is some quality research that is in particulated kinds of filing, I guess. We have international studies about marijuana that are piecemeal studies. We have piecemeal studies in a few different states, and then the government has some of their own piecemeal studies, many of which are contributed by, administered by, or managed by political organizations that have a political position that they're defending. So the Drug Abuse Council of wherever or whatever has a policy position that supports no drug use is acceptable drug use, and from their standpoint, criminality or civil regulation is really beside the point to them. They would rather not have any drug use that is tolerable in their fictitious world, and trying to make statistical evidence to support that endeavor is both absurd and illogical. But nonetheless, you have this anecdotal research and some piecemeal research, like I said, that would be supportive of the first steps of this idea that marijuana is a medicine and needs to be available. Understand that you can argue that decriminalization of all drugs is an important issue, but it is a different issue than marijuana. It is a different issue. This is not opening the slippery slope. This is identifying that marijuana has medicinal value and as such must be legal, must be available. And under this premise, we have actions in the court. What those actions are undeveloped at this point, okay? From a legal standpoint, what is occurring is that people have an injury, perceived injury, that needs to be vindicated in the courts, a future right, not exactly a medicinal, civil right, but more like a medical regulation that is appropriate. And you're due and I'm due appropriate and rational laws. When it becomes apparent that those are available but not being provided, such an action exists in the people. And to vindicate that action, you have the right to petition, you have the right to curry the favor of legislators to have them do your bidding, or you can individually or as a collective group take action in the court. These are various options. There's a whole bunch of people working on different angles. Who is unrepresented in this particular time is the people who are participating in the civil disobedience and exercising their rights at the disadvantage to them because of the current law. MarijuanaDefenseCouncil.com is in some sense able to provide some has some resources to fight this battle on a one-off kind of proposition. I can take single marijuana cases in Dayton, Ohio, but that does not give the people an opportunity to have their right vindicated as if there was a collective action. The collective action can coordinate the resources to the appropriate individuals. So, in essence, if we can create a network of participants with marijuanadefensecouncil.com that are a legal network of support, then should we have a situation where we find a particular individual with the appropriate standing, we can make good on that action in the court. We've seen this type of efforts in the civil rights movements with civil disobedience. I often have pointed out to people in discussing this situation that if we recall, it was a situation where Rosa Parks was put on that bus on purpose. She knew what she was doing and made a conscious decision to put her liberty interest at stake to change the law. Now, there are people that accidentally come into that situation. And if we have the resources available for those people to who come into that situation to immediately reach out to a group like marijuanadefensecouncil.com, then we can hopefully have a network strong enough to support these people with resource information that can actually change the law. Furthermore, if marijuanadefensecouncil.com becomes a petitioning type, lobbying type element, then it is possible that marijuanadefensecouncil.com could then take collective action on behalf of its members. Kind of like a law firm representing a class action group, kind of like a union representing the employees against their employer, kind of like a pseudo quasi-governmental agency discussing issues of contractor services to the state or subsidiaries thereof, or something along the lines of a persuasive value of a Better Business Bureau or a commission on health and drug awareness issues. These kind of things are possible. What we need for people to do is we need people to donate. We need to find people that have money that want to invest in the GreenFight app, which is a marijuana hacktivism app. If you want to invest in the marijuana hacktivism app, we'll take this country by storm and we'll do this, okay? If you want to contribute for general pro bono legal services that we're doing about marijuana reform, great. If you want to contribute to making production quality PSAs and distributing those on a paid sponsored market, we'd like to explore those options as well. So there's so many things that we can do if we team up with a collective action, not to argue about the specifics of marijuana prohibition on where it's going, or argue about whether this state should have open growing and this state should have limited growing or whatever. These are not the kinds of discussions that we're having. The kinds of discussions we're having are about the basic elements. The basic elements that marijuana prohibition, in the case of marijuana prohibition concerning medical use of marijuana, more than 80% of the public now supports medical marijuana. And that creates a conflict in the jury nullification issue. That if jury nullification is actually now, because it's more than 50%, becomes probable, then the denial of allowing individuals to assert such a defense is possibly grounds for appeal. And that is an important thing to get out to people. That's a logical extension of the law, and as such can be argued in court and may become law. We're talking about changing law by establishing our various rights and vindicating those rights in the courts. A little bit about me. Originally from Yorktown, Indiana. I was a high school wrestler. I then joined the Air Force Security Forces, worked as a private security investigator. I got my pilot's license. Then I became a local cop, did that for a little while. I did some business entrepreneurial endeavors with a family opportunity that I had. I then went back overseas and worked for DynCorp, a security contractor for the U.S. government. After that, I went to law school, began at Gonzaga University where I did 1 year, and then came back and finished in another year and a half at the University of Dayton where I graduated law school and took the bar. Since a few months into my first year of practice, I've been putting considerable effort into marijuana reform. So now that's going on a year and a half or so of marijuana reform efforts that I've done. And I'm very excited about the future. I think there's many opportunities. I believe that marijuana is the largest economic footprint social issue of our generation. Marijuana and hemp, that is. Because of the economic impact of the industrial features, the medical impact, and the criminal justice impact. When you combine this all and understand that it is, in hemp's case, in a not exactly a black market, but a overregulated market, because that market is available, but it is coming from outside the U.S. and it is artificially being stifled. So this is a sum game, a positive gain for everyone in the hemp industry, and that does significance to our society. What politicians are scared of is that because that unrevealed economic boom is going to be blamed on bad policy, and that scares politicians that are in the know about these issues. From a criminal justice standpoint, re-enfranchising many people is a great thing that we can do to society. It should be a day that we go out and celebrate in an almost Independence Day kind of format, that re-enfranchising individuals and giving individuals a new lease on life is something that is incredible. And if we eliminate our hypocrisy about the way we treat marijuana, then those people that have been affected by marijuana prohibition in a personal sense, either by criminal liability or losing their job or whatever, those people are vindicated in a sense as marijuana becomes legal. And when we have such an incredible rate of individuals that have say that they've used marijuana and they've tried marijuana when they were in college or something like that, and then those same people are in a governance position and they're like, well, we should still keep it illegal. That doesn't jive. That doesn't work right. Because the story could have been completely different, that they wouldn't have been in that position if they had been one of the unlucky ones that got caught and had this interfere with them getting into college or losing a job or something on the way to get there. And as luck would have it, we find winners and losers in that situation. And the war on marijuana is not something where we just want to be like rolling the dice to figure out who the winners and losers are. The losers are the people that divert drugs to children. Those people should be dealt with in an appropriate manner to stop the behavior. And I don't know if that means strict enforcement or moderated enforcement or reasonable enforcement or focus on rehabilitative enforcement. I don't know. we will get there, but we first need to have the discussion about what are the rational views of how to regulate marijuana in an appropriate way for industrial, personal, and medical use. So anyway, GoFundMe.com/marijuana reform. You can go to marijuanadefensecouncil.com and BryceKellerLaw.com. Thank you.